Welcome to Age of Aquarius, Soul Activation Temple. Yeah, through soul activations, guided meditations, and crystalline codes, we return to who we truly are, which is light in form. You are here because your soul is ready. So welcome home. As an empath, you may sense a turning of the wheel and that you are standing on the empowered side of it now. You have completed an initiation cycle. 2025 functioned as a temporal compression chamber, and in evolutionary terms, this happens when a collective threshold is approaching, when certain soul groups are ready to hold new frequencies. And of course, there is no longer time in linear terms to learn slowly, so to speak. And when this happens, time folds. And so instead, our experiences, following in the order of lesson, which is rest, integration, and then on to the next lesson, we instead got lesson, reckoning, collapse, and integration thereafter. For empaths, this was especially intense because you are non-linear processes. You don't learn through repetition, you learn through resonance. And when time compressed, resonance accelerated. This is why 2025 felt long and short at the same time. It felt like multiple chapters closed simultaneously, as though the past and future were speaking at the same time. This is the signature of a time wrinkle, where past karmic material, present identity, and future potential all converging. It was by no means random that empaths were singled out by the compression, because empaths are the nervous system of the collective. And historically, they've been used, and often unconsciously so, to buffer trauma, to stabilize dysfunctional systems, and to carry emotional weight others wouldn't. But that role has become obsolete. In 2025, the field said, you cannot carry what is not yours anymore. And so empaths were placed into impossible situations where love without boundaries caused tremendous pain, where their loyalty led to self-erasure, where their compassion became exhaustion, their tolerance delayed their evolution. This forced a reckoning between true empathy and conditioned self-sacrifice. Many empaths discovered, painfully so, that they were being kind at the cost of their own life force. And that realization is devastating and yet oh so liberating. So how did the empath cross the threshold of this portal, you may ask? We must remember that portals don't open when we want them to. They open when resistance collapses. And for most empaths, the crossing looked like emotional burnout, a final betrayal that is subtle and not dramatic, a moment of soul level no more, as well as a feeling of grief for who they thought they had to be. This was the death of the adaptive self. The adaptive self says, if I hold more, things will be okay. If I understand enough, I'll be safe. If I stay soft, I won't be abandoned. The identity of the adaptive self cannot exist in the next frequency, and so it dissolved. Crossing the portal didn't feel triumphant, though. It felt quiet, empty, and rather strange. Many empaths reported feeling numb, detached even, a loss of motivation for old dreams, and a sense of floating between worlds. This is exactly what happens when sovereignty comes online before the personality catches up. Let's be clear though, empaths did not become harder, they became clearer. The old empath pattern had them absorbing emotional atmospheres, feeling others before self, seeking harmony at any cost, and confusing intuition with anxiety. This sovereign empath pattern, which is now activating, sees the empath perceiving without absorbing, valuing truth over harmony. Their intuition is calm, not urgent, and where they feel the self first and others second. The critical distinction is that absorption is not empathy, and presence is. Sovereignty means you can sit with pain without taking it on. You can love without rescuing. You can witness without fixing. And you can leave without guilt. This is enormous power, and it is why the transition was so intense. The energy shift you are feeling now is a field recalibration. The energetic environment no longer rewards overgiving, emotional labor without consent, spiritual bypassing, or martyrdom disguised as love. Instead, it supports clean boundaries, self-honoring, truth, nervous system regulation, and embodied presence. Many empaths are noticing fewer but deeper connections, lower tolerance for nonsense, heightened intuition with less emotional charge, and a desire for simplicity, quiet, and alignment. This is not withdrawal, it is consolidation of power. Empaths are no longer here to carry the world. They are here to anchor coherence, to stabilize emotional fields, to model embodied sovereignty, and to lead through resonance and not sacrifice. You could think of it in the way of previously being shock absorbers, and now they are tuning forks. And when you are regulated, clear, and sovereign, others calibrate around you. Truth surfaces without force. Dysfunction becomes obvious without confrontation. That is leadership in the Aquarian age. So congratulations, empaths. So how do we integrate and stabilize this new state? In fact, this phase is about grounding and not so much about expanding. Key practices now would be fewer spiritual inputs and more embodiment, listening to fatigue as intelligence, and letting relationships self-sort, and to trust quiet certainty over emotional highs. A simple anchor practice would be to place one hand on your heart, one on your lower belly, to breathe slowly and say internally, I am here. I am safe. I choose myself. This programs the empathic reflex from reaction to presence. Empaths who crossed this threshold are early anchors. You are stabilizing a frequency that allows compassion without collapse, sensitivity without overwhelm, to love without loss of self. And this is essential for what comes next. The world does not need more wounded healers. It needs integrated ones. So yes, the shift you feel is real. The wheel has turned, and you are no longer being tested. You are being trusted. If you resonated with this message, it is the recognition of truth remembering itself. That quiet, steady yes in the body is the mark of sovereignty settling in. You didn't receive something new. You recognized what you had already crossed. So take a moment now, even just a breath, to let this land in your nervous system. No integration work is required. This phase completes itself through rest, through simplicity and self-trust. Know this, beloveds, gently and clearly, you are no longer proving anything. You are no longer carrying what is not yours. You are no longer late, behind, or catching up. You are exactly where your frequency needs to be. Your presence alone is doing the work now. For now, let yourself simply be. The field has already adjusted around you.